seeing that it snowed lots. And then I lived with so many Scandinavians and people from other countries that would just go in the earliest bus to the mountain and hike up for 2 hours to a place that no one's skied the whole time there yet that day. So you're skiing in fresh powder snow, and that's probably, I think, one of my best experiences.
A couple of times we went with a bunch of friends, just walk around the market, have some glühwein, and just really, I think I never felt so Christmassy in my life until I spent a couple of hours walking around there. It was amazing.
Czech Republic, and absinthe is a very famous drink there. So my friend who was with me from Loughborough, he decided to do a flaming absinthe with an American girl at the same time.
In the Czech Republic, and we ended up going on a 6-day trip down to the Balkans within the first week of arriving in the Czech Republic. It was just going to be a trip down to Belgrade in Serbia, but then we thought, why not?
And instead of putting the straw to the bottom of the drink and drinking up, he put it into the flames. And he inhaled quite a lot of flaming blue light.
Just places, faces, where your blood comes from is where your space is. I seen the bright get duller. I'm not gonna spend my life being a color.
Tell me you agree with me when I saw you kicking dirt in my...
Personally, what I got out of it the most, I think, was just, again, it's back to the bubble of Loughborough, getting out of that and just being around lots of different people from lots of different places.
If you're black or white.
Well, my best memory or highlight of my semester abroad was the booze cruise. That was absolutely amazing. So we went from Stockholm to Riga, which is in Latvia, and it was like a total of 3 it's like 2,000 Erasmus kids from like all over Scandinavia. And maybe a bit of other Europe, go meet on a boat from Stockholm and go to Riga. There's just loads of bars, casinos, restaurants, and just meet up with other people and speak about where they're from and just get drunk and have fun and get...
It's white.
The best memory about travelling abroad was when me and a group of friends went from Gothenburg and we travelled on the bus to Copenhagen. And as you know, Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, so it's an amazing city just by itself. But another thing that made it really good was it was my 21st birthday. And on the night of my party, we went to a club and had a few drinks, and yeah, they were just really hospitable people too. They they had like sparklers in the drinks, birthday cake, blah blah, free drinks for us because it was my birthday, and yeah, it was a really fun time, and I think I'll always remember that.
What made things really good for me was that even though I'd only been there for 5 months, I'd made such lasting friendships with such an international group of friends, and so you really shouldn't be worried of going abroad and not making lasting friendships, because you will.
My best memory of my time at Erasmus was being able to invite people into my room, because we had a really big room. It was like a quite big living space and a bedroom and a kitchen and an ensuite bathroom. So it's big enough to have kind of like parties in your room. So I had numerous parties, and it was just really fun just being able to just open my door like all night. People just come in and drink and like have dinner and stuff and just go a bit crazy.
On my empty bed.
One day in the freezing cold of Sweden, we went to a lake that was completely frozen over, and there was like islands in the middle of it, and you could walk like on the lake, and like people were ice skating and they're building fires and stuff like that. So that was like an amazing, unforgettable experience, walking on water.
With me, I'm a cuckoo.
My best memory
probably have to be the Lund Carnival. It's a festival which is held in Lund every 4 years, so I went at a good time.
Best memory from Lund was going to a sauna, which was actually on the North Sea, and every 10 minutes after you've been in the sauna, you have to run down the stairs and jump into the North Sea, and it's absolutely freezing, and that memory stays.
Scary moment, loving every moment. I was high from playing shows.
People from Sweden and around Europe really come down to see it. There was a drink, there was a parade, there's loads of stuff going on, there's music. We had Rufus Wainwright come down to perform, and we had the world's best Michael Jackson impersonator come down as well, which was so much fun. It was so fun.
And my one word to describe my Erasmus experience is amazing.
I would just say incredible.
Unmissable.
Amazing.
It was just perfect.
Unique.
Inspiration.
Best thing of my life.
Unforgettable.
Blonde. Mountainous.
And it's not something you'll forget in a while.
I'd like to see you, but really I should stay away and let you settle down. I've got no claims to your crown. I was the boss of you, and I loved you, you know I loved you.
Okay, so I was an English language assistant in the Savoie region of France. It was located right in the French Alps in a town called Loughborough.
I had a work placement for the Confederation of British Industry in their Brussels office.
I was teaching in 2 sixth form colleges in France, in the countryside, and a small town called Quimperlé in Brittany.
We were going into European Parliament committee sessions and taking notes, contacting members and organising events or meetings with MEPs.
Coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet dogwood flower.
And because the students' levels of English were very low, I had the opportunity to teach all my lessons both in English and in French, and that was very exciting.
Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey.
By teaching, you learn a lot of leadership skills. So you learn how to command a classroom and obviously communicate well with the students, and obviously by communicating in a foreign language with the students you're developing your communication skills a lot more.
The personal benefit I had from my work placement would be a massive increase in my self-confidence and my motivation.
That's about improving my language skills and having the confidence to talk to people I didn't know using a foreign language, because I simply wasn't comfortable with that when I arrived. In fact, on the first day I arrived and I was introduced to the headmaster, I really couldn't remember how to speak any French at all, apart from to say, my name is Kimberly.
I think teaching in a foreign country has given me, has boosted my confidence, because I was put in positions that weren't necessarily the most relaxed positions at first, but obviously once you start getting used to the way that life is in France and so on, it all becomes a lot easier.
Obviously the work placement looks good on the CV, and also it's definitely helped me going into this final year so far.
I learned what it was like to be the teacher rather than the student. I was welcomed very warmly by all the staff at both schools and treated like a teacher from the outset. I was able to call them by their first names, I socialised with them in the staff room, and we even had a laugh about some of the students in the staff room as well.
Moving to France was that my French wasn't brilliant, so I couldn't really
communicate that well right at the start, and a lot of the time I was sat at tables lacking in conversation, and I was a bit lost. And that was quite unsettling at the start, but after you start getting used to the way the language works and you start mixing with foreign and French people, you really begin to pick the language up. And
however, on one rather drunken evening, I did somehow manage to pass my passport to a female to try and, I don't know, basically, and so I lost my passport and ended up having to get a new passport, which was a bit of a hell.
I was still able to contact the department here, and they were very quick to respond to all queries I had. And I was also allocated a responsable, which is someone who looks after you, is one of the teachers allocated to look after you during your time away. And those teachers were very warm, welcoming, as I said before, and they looked after us, helped us to get to know the town when we arrived, took us out to dinner, and introduced us to some of the local things.
A man decides after 17 years.
I remember having a really good class in the morning. I finished early at about 12 o'clock and then went out skiing in the afternoon with the two other assistants that I was living with. The ski season had just started, so we were like basically the only people on the slopes, and we got to the top of the mountain and I was just thinking, this is amazing. Like, where else can you do this? Absolutely epic.
I suppose going into the European Parliament for lunches and going to all these meetings, it was really interesting. I mean, European politics is sort of what I'm really interested in, and being able to do that on a daily basis, it's just walking in and showing the badge, pretty cool.
But my best memory definitely has to be the road trip that I took with the other assistants I was living with. We hired a car from the local supermarket called Leclerc, and although it was printed with Leclerc in the town where we lived, and that was a little embarrassing, we had a fantastic time. We drove all around the coast and we visited many other assistants as well.
And yet together they were friends at school.
One thing that I really enjoyed was spending a lot of time with some of the teachers at the school that I was working with. So I was with colleagues and we'd go out for meals and discuss what happened earlier in the day in the classroom or something. That was really good fun.
I was able to speak French all day, every day, and to get it so instilled in my brain that by the end of my time there I was even dreaming in French.
So it was very interesting.
So to sum it all up, I'll say it was magnifique.
To sum up my time in France in one word, fantastique.